Hello, and welcome to Do Life. It is my great joy to come to you this evening, not alone, as you know. I always come with great leaders and individuals as well as family members. So I'm not here alone, I'm here with family. But importantly, I want to take this time to welcome all of you. It is not too late to invite your friends, and it's not too late to have them follow, subscribe, or join us. It is my delight today to address a critical topic, which I will not mention, but you catch it very soon. So get all the people you know, all your friends, all your acquaintances, and all those who are dear to you, and tell them we are live, which is Do Life. So Dr. Beatrice Redmond, last week you shared and you led us as we address critical issues. But today, it's not just me hosting it, you are all co-hosts. So there's a topic which is very critical, and I want us to address this topic. So what is the topic that I know of course you're aware, that you believe will benefit the people as we address it together?
Well, I hope you're holding on to your bootstrings. I hope you've got them.
I'm getting onto it.
I hope you're ready for this one.
Yeah.
You know, I really want to talk about the singles.
Wonderful.
That is the topic I really want to talk about today, because there's so many people that are involved in ministry, people that are in congregations, and they see married couples and they're like, when is my husband coming? I've been believing for so long. And then there's also the issue of people that are working in ministry, single, and they don't have a companion. So what do you have to say to all that?
This is a very important topic, so critical that I would say, to me, a topic that ought to be addressed on a regular basis. Many times singles and their needs are neglected, especially in today's world when we have built everything around family. And at times we forget that singles are part of our family. Whenever we have meetings and we say for family only, we forget that some of the people who are dearest to us, those who are not, who don't have companions or are not married, it could be male or female. We forget that when we talk about singles, we are not only talking about teenagers or talking about, those in their 30s, millennials. Right. We're talking about our grandmothers. We're talking about aunties. We're talking about our favorite bosses. We're talking about our mothers in faith. We're talking about our mentors, our coaches and teachers. And we're talking about relevant, amazing individuals who are single, and it's not a problem that they are single, and there are those who really want to contribute and have so much to give. But because of their singleness, society will make them feel, particularly the church world, will make them feel that their contributions are not necessary. So when you bring the subject up at singles, it is something we have to take very seriously. And here in Life International, I want us to make sure at least everything we do, we don't do it with couples in mind or families in mind. The singles are our families. We have not been this far or come this far without the singles. Many have contributed to who we are today. In fact, if you have a mother who is single, celebrate her. If you have a sister who is single, celebrate her. If you have sisters, brothers, or loved ones who are single, please celebrate them. Singleness is not a curse. Singleness is not a plague. Singleness is a present state. There are those who are married who are single-minded. But when you see a person who is single by state, it doesn't mean that they may be mentally single-minded. They are concerned about the world, concerned about their work, concerned about people. So when we talk about singleness, let's remember that if a person is not physically attached as single, let's not consider them to be needy or consider them to be out of place, but let's include them in what we do. Because there are other singles too who feel neglected, who feel because they don't have spouses, or because they've gone through divorces, or because they're not attached, they are of a problem. And there are those also who have the attitude that I don't want singles around my wife or my husband. You know, it is all wrong. We have to address this thing and talk about them practically. So as a Christian, and also as Christian leaders, we have to make sure that we don't throw anybody under the bus, or we don't ignore or neglect the importance of singles in our midst. Let's respect them, recognize them, give them their space. So I hope this conversation will be able to address some of these things. Because, being a single does not mean a curse. Being a single does not mean negative. If a person is single and they want to get married and they're in our churches, we have to encourage them. If a person is single and they want to stay single because they want to focus on what they do, we still have to support them. Singleness is not a curse, but let's not make them feel unwanted or unnecessary or look down upon them as if something is wrong with them. Let's talk about it, and I'm ready for it.
Good point. You know, as a single, I enjoy my life being single. You know, it allows me to devote my time really to God.
Yeah.
And the kind of work that I do, for me, it's easier. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, but we find that women in ministry or men in ministry, it's difficult not to have that companion.
Yeah.
You know, but here's what I see happening these days, that sometimes people start to get desperate, and so they're willing to marry outside of their faith. What would you say about marrying outside of your faith?
It can be dangerous. It can be dangerous. The Bible says that we should not be unequally yoked. Okay? If you marry somebody other than your faith, how can you harmonize your home? Because it's all got to do with understanding and unity. A house divided against itself will not stand. If you marry someone outside your faith, will they understand you and will you understand them? Will you understand what they do as their customs and will they understand what you do as customs? If you marry somebody outside your faith as a single because you feel like, hey, I don't find people in my church, there are those who want to be single because they don't, or they want to retain on singleness for a minute because the people they go to church with, they consider ugly. There are some women.
That's true.
There are some women. There are some women who will not marry in their community or marry in their.
I got another
church.
question when you finish with this.
Okay. They will not marry because they think these guys are ugly. Some women have some statures in mind. They want a guy that is buff, a guy that is, handsome, a guy that, he's got muscles, a guy that has money. Some doesn't want to marry somebody who is short. So imagine if, as a single, if the one God has for you is short, you are 5'9" or 5'11", and the person is 4'9", but yet he is the one who would take you where you need to be in terms of relationship and love. And you say, no, I don't want them. So there's some singles by choice, okay? And there's some singles also who choose to go outside and say, listen, I don't want this, I want to go here. But one have to be very, get somebody to advise you. One of the dangerous things in life is a single person who doesn't listen to anybody, who make their own choices. One of the most dangerous things in life.
So is that one of those prophetic questions that they should have come to you and talked about instead of saying God said no?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't ask that one.
No, ask anything.
Okay, so I'm asking that to say, Papa, I'm saying to Papa right now, you're my Papa. Could it be that some of these women who have been waiting on husbands all this time, the husband could have been sitting right there in the church, but because the man may have been too skinny or the man may have been too short or the man had a big nose instead of a little nose, or the man could be of a different culture. They're like, no. Could women just and men just be so picky. You know, she's not a bottle.
Yeah.
You know, what do you say about Lady Martha? You met her, she was an hourglass, a Coca-Cola bottle.
Yeah.
You know, all those nice things you say about her. You know, could it be that maybe some people missed multiple people that could have been their connection?
Yeah, there are people who miss. There are people who miss their Boaz. Okay, who miss? There are people who miss the guy or the girl who's supposed to come to their lives.
Right.
Now, honestly, there are certain times too. God gives people the desires of their heart also. In all fairness, the person that may be for you may be.
I just wanted to stump you on that.
No, but it's still good. it's going to help somebody. It's a good question. There's somebody that you may have to marry. The person is next door to you. The person is sitting next to you. But the question is this: are you compatible? Number two, is this somebody that at least, even if it's God, you can wake up the next morning and look at them and still smile? There are some people you may take home. The next day you wonder what made you marry them. So you have to really look at many things. Besides spirituality, you have to look at likeness, compatibility. Can this person actually complement me, and can I complement them? That's why at times it's good to know people by the Spirit before you actually go that far. There are some people who are single because they've had bad experience. People have come in their lives. They were happy temporarily, but in the end, they got hurt. Mm-hmm. There were those also who were ready to settle, and those who came, never want to settle and still want to play. And it goes both ways. There are some women who have missed out on great guys, because whilst we have our likeness and interest, there are some people that you have to know that after a while, you will grow to like them. You will grow to appreciate them. And you grow to actually celebrate them. So this is very important. And I think this is sessions that we have to do more of, because we have to really talk about this. There are many singles who really want relationships. That is why dating games is taking off. People want to meet the right people. When I was growing up, and when you were growing up, the best place to meet good people was in the church.
Yes.
Today you have people who come to church because they know that the good people are there. So some of the bad guys will even come to church to look for people, or bad girls will come to church to look for people. So when we talk about singleness, it's not only women. We're talking about both women and men.
Yes.
What state you're in, if you feel at this stage in your life, you are ready for partnership, you are ready for relationship, you are ready to settle, you're ready to have somebody celebrate or enjoy life with you, for which you are actually going to use your singleness to contribute to somebody's life. It's good, but it also have to be with choice. Definitely, there are some people who may come into your life, they may look everything you want exterior, but character and attitude, behavior, understanding, respect, care, and also, sharing. There are some people who have been single for so long that if they are to marry, they disturb themselves and disturb the persons they marry, because they become so independent and they're used to their space. They don't want to share. There's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, if you feel that you are not the one who will be single for life and you are open for relationship, then be open. If you are open, you can make adjustments. But if you are not open and you are set in your ways, it will be difficult at times. You may meet the right guy, but if 500 comes along, you may only see one guy. But if you are open and you are adaptable, somebody may come to you that may not be your type, but your openness can make you adjust and at least get along with the persons. After all, in relationship or in marriage, you want to be happy.
Yes.
Put all things aside. Money is necessary. It's quite necessary in marriage. Communication is very necessary in marriage. Intimacy is very important in marriage. But if you have all of these things, but you are not happy, then something is wrong. Some people have the intimacy, they have the money, they communicate well, but they're not happy. Happiness is very important. Joy is very important. And also making sure that the person who you are in relationship with, when it comes to that, is somebody that can make you laugh. Somebody that can make you feel comfortable, that you don't have to look over your shoulders. Somebody that brings the best out of you. And somebody that you know you can share both your happiness and your sadness with. And somebody that you can build a future with.
Oh, you're bringing tears to my eyes. Oh, I got tears. You know, one of the things you talked about is compatibility. And I know as a single mom, you know, having raised children, you know, life after divorce wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. So in terms of thinking of even dating again was extremely difficult because that you might find someone that you might be interested in, but if that person's not compatible in the sense that they can't relate to your children, you have to be very careful as a single mom or a single father, you know, because we have fathers that have children now, you know, so that's one of the reasons I believe that many women hold out because they want to make sure that that person, even though they could get along with them and all that's great, but you have to think about your children. And while we're talking about that, I'm thinking about women in ministry and how they want to serve, but some women are hesitant because they have children. You know, they don't want to, they feel as though, I didn't have that challenge. I just believe God would take care of mine, but they don't want to step out in ministry. Is there a word of encouragement or advice that you have for women that do have children and have been hesitant to work in the house of God?
Yes, I have an advice for them. But first, let me say this. If you have children and you believe that God wants you to be remarried or to marry, make sure whoever comes into your life accepts you and your children as a package. Any man that will come into your life or any woman that will come into your life but will not be able to adjust to that family and be part of the family, then that person is going to create problem for you. So it is necessary that any woman or any man for that matter with children who is going into marriage should do so making way for the children to feel comfortable. There are some children who are mature. If they're mature, it's a different story. Mature children, some may feel that the mother doesn't need to get married or daddy doesn't need to get married. They will take care of mommy or take care of daddy. But truth be told, they may not be there in the middle of the night when you are sobbing and you need a woman to hold you or a man to hold you. You need somebody to comfort you. When the children are grown and they have their own lives, then they should be sensitive to mother and daddy's needs too. If daddy needs a companion, please don't try to act negative and say, Daddy, I don't want anybody for my daddy. I don't want anybody for my daddy. They're coming for my daddy's money. At times, true, daddy may have money. But at this stage, it's not the money daddy is looking for. Companionship is what daddy is looking for. Mommy may have all the power and the influence, all the ministry and everything else. At this time, what mommy is looking for is not the ministry. Because when she comes down and takes a wig off, and take her eyelashes off, and take the makeup off, she's just a simple, beautiful woman who needs a comfort and be in a warm arm and needs a good man that will literally talk to her about the successes of ministry, the challenges of ministry, and how the day had gone. If you are a woman or a man and you feel you need a companion, don't be ashamed about this. Talk to somebody you trust. And if you live in this area, you could talk to me. I can advise you or help you. Because what we need is we need one another and be one another's keeper. When you are a woman or a single mother in ministry or a single father in ministry and you want to go into ministry, don't believe for a minute those false teaching which says that you will not be effective unless you have a husband. Listen, your pastor is your covering. That's more important. Because after all, in ministry, if you are married and you are in a church, your pastor is your covering, both of your covering. He gives account for your souls. So what is important is whether you have a husband or no husband should not disqualify you from being in ministry. You can serve in any capacity in the ministry. For me, after 56 plus years in ministry, I have, from my personal experience, and pastoring Life International for 38 years, and traveling the world over for many years in ministry, planting churches in many countries, I can tell you, God doesn't look at gender to qualify kingdom workers. God looks at the heart, willingness, dedication, and love for his people to put you in ministry. So you can be a single woman. You may have as many children. You may have gone through 20 marriages. It makes no difference. 20 marriages does not disqualify you from being loved of God. If God calls you into ministry, you should not allow the fact that you are not married to stop you. It goes to you as a man. You've been married 2, 3, 4 times. You have many children. You've had a Damascus experience. You are willing to serve the Lord, but you feel because you have so many children and you're not married, you cannot be in ministry. Marriage doesn't qualify you for ministry. It's obedience to God and willingness to live for him. Maintain your character. Obedience to his word qualify you for ministry.
Wow, that was a mouthful, because you pointed out the fact that if you have a pastor, you're covered, and really one should submit to that authority. But as you were talking about that, there's a lot that singles do not know about, whether they're 18 to 30 or 18 to 85. I began to think about the fact that you want to address 100 men.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
Yes.
In some of what you're going to pour out of all the years.
Yeah.
That's what you said. You're pouring it all out, okay? Will you be addressing to single men what it means really to be a man in the sight of God? What is God's man about today as a single?
You are speaking my language. And let me just say this. I want to teach men how to be real. A real man is a man who is real. A real man is a man who is real. A real man is a man who is real. I want to teach men desperately, because when you teach men, often the woman will come and the children will come along. And that is my passion. I really want to invest in men. So from the age 18 up, oh yes, it's going to be...
So singles and married.
No, everybody.
You want them all.
Single, married. In between decisions, whether you marry, come. You will learn something. In fact, if even you are a man and you are struggling with your gender identity, come along. I'm not stopped. Come along. If you have challenges with gender identity, this is what we have to be talking about, addressing real issues. People are not talking about real issues. We dance around them because we are scared, and we want to just do what is normal. Listen, addressing these critical issues, of course, when I say man, if you come in, then you're a male and you come in, definitely I will talk to you. I will help you.
I don't want to cut across you, but I got to jump in here. Because, one of the things that I've noticed, I have young sons, but I work with young men. And because of the effect of COVID and the years out, those young people that were in high school, just graduating, they lost like 2-3 years of socialization. And so if they didn't go away to school, to college, and they remain home, they really miss that. And what I see is that trying to make up for that is not the easiest thing to do. So I'm glad that you're going to address young and old. So will you be addressing even the identity of men, not just their sexual identity, but what it means
to be a man.
To be a man.
Definitely.
Can they cry? Can they feel sad? Can they feel forlorn?
Every man has emotions, just like women have emotions. Let me tell you, in this thing, I'm going to go deeper. Let me say this. I'm even going to talk about issues that are not talked about as I teach the men. And I don't mind to share this even on in a larger platform where there'll be thousands of people to hear this. I even want to talk about older women who feel who feel safer around younger men, or younger men who feel safer around older women. These are some things that we don't talk about.
Oh, come on now.
In the world, they may have different names for it, but some of these things are reality. There are some women, when they were young, they could not, they married, the children's parents. The fathers only saw them as breeders. Their children, they've grown and gone. The woman never even got to know herself. There are some men who married and they just didn't enjoy marriage. But now the man is dead, gone. The woman, they've divorced 20, 30 years. The woman all of a sudden say, you know what, I don't want to marry an old man. I don't want to be changing that person. I just want somebody young. These are critical things we have to talk about. When we come to that, I will address it. And I promise you I'll do so. But the question you're asking is, will I talk and help men to actually be real men? That's what it's all about. We are going to talk about, I'll cover many subjects. I'll invest in them spiritually, invest in them manly, invest in them professionally, invest in them with wisdom. I will address all questions they may have, and I'll protect them in that process. I want to make sure that they feel safe, because when men feel safe in an environment, the real man comes out. I want to provide ambience, the environment where they feel safe, where I will teach the men how to be men and how to stand as men and how to progress in their manhood. It is very, very important. Let me say this. With emotions, men many times keep things in. Women, there are those who are tough. They keep things in. But when a person is in a safe place, you will know the authentic self. People are not safe. That is why they oppress things. When a man feels safe, and it starts with the fathering. If a man is raised by a man, and the man is taught how to grow through the process of manhood, the man shows emotions when necessary. Crying is not only for sad people. Crying is expression of inner feelings. At times it could be because of joy. When you find a real man, they can tell their children, I love you. They can hug their boys. They're not afraid to express their emotions. They can cry when they hurt. Because, when you find a true man and a true woman, listen carefully. When you find a true man and a true man, when a woman is happy, the girlish side of her will come out. Within every woman, there's a child and a girl. And within every man, there's a child and a boy. When men are very happy and excited, the boy side of them comes out. So whenever they are with their friends, guess what? The wife says, my husband is like a boy. They are doing the boyish things. Why? Because when you are happy, the youthful side of you kicks in, because your happiness, your best time in life was usually at your youthful stage, when you get so excited and free. So when men are taught to accept who they are, they become like flowers. They blossom.
That's profound. That is so true. I look at women, single women with children who feel as though they've failed in life because either they weren't married and they had children, or they were married and divorced and they're still left with children. And so that flower, that inner girl doesn't get to come out. So I hope that at some point as well, and you do talk like this here with us all the time, but I know you're trying to bring other people in to spread all that's in you. You said you've got about 70% more to give out.
70% of me is been locked up. Free me, Lord. Pull it out of me, people, so I could give everything that is in me.
Well, we women want to pull that out of you, too.
And I want it.
We know you've got the wisdom for women as well. On the same line, we want that flower to come out.
I would do it if there's a demand and the woman says to me, 100 women will say to me, we want you to meet with us for 2-3 months and pour into us. I'll do the men and I'll do the women too. But I'll only do it on condition that I have 100 women who are consistent. I don't want to start and stop. I don't want people to come, 1 or 2 sessions and fall out. No, I want committed, dedicated people. Because what I'm going to pour out, I'm going to share, is what is in me. And I'm giving the best of me. And I don't want those who are in and out to just mess things up.
The challenge is on. If you're online right now, text your name, say yes, yes, yes. Call the office, go online to lifeinternational.usa. I'm calling all women because I want to see 100 women come together eventually to go over the same kind of thing of what you're talking about, because that's so important. And when we're talking about singles, I think one of the biggest things singles deal with, male or female, because we're talking about both today, is failure. Failure is and how do you help people to come out of that mode? Because when they're like that, they're hesitant to believe a prophetic word and they're hesitant to serve. How do you help people come out of feeling like they've failed in life?
Now, of course, I have grown children. And one thing is, when children are in an environment of love, or they are surrounded with love, and there is validation and affirmation, spirit of failure would not dominate them. Everybody in life will fail at something at some time. But what you have failed in should not be taken over by a spirit whereby you inherit the spirit of failure. If you are afraid to succeed, you will fail. And if you are afraid to fail, you will not succeed.
Wow, that's powerful.
In life, we go through processes. A failure is not the person who stopped trying. But the moment you decide, I'm not going to try again, you failed. So we can teach our children, and that's what I'm teaching. Don't look at yourself as a failure. When a person feels validated and affirmed, what failure is that you don't feel validated and you don't feel affirmed. But when a person is in a space or in a place, an environment where you are validated and affirmed, failure will just be like a water at the back of a duck. And that's what we should do. And that's what I really want to do. You see, my problem is I have so much in me that I want to give out. But people to pull on it are not too serious. And that's my challenge. I am asking, please, get out of me. What do you want? How can I help you? My question is, how can I help you? I am willing to offer the help, but people are too engrossed in their mindsets and their problems that they even don't see when help is coming.
I'm going to pull those 100 women.
If you can pull 100 women tomorrow, you will get the best of me. I will shut down some of my trips, my traveling, and devote extensive time in investing in them. But when they start, we should finish.
Exactly.
I don't want people to just experiment, come and test here and there. No. I don't want to experiment. I want people who are hungry, desperate, serious, committed. If they can get online, lifeinternational.us, and apply and say, I'm available, and they mean it. And I'm going to challenge you, if you're serious about this, and you mean it, I want to see your commitment.
Well, that's the one thing I know about you, and I know we've gone on, and it's time to wind up, but you do encourage people. I know you've encouraged my life. At times I may feel like I'm falling short. You'll come in with, an encouraging word, and you'll say, no, you could do this, keep going. And that is so necessary today, because frequently singles don't have like a companion or someone else, to really encourage them. And some of them that are in the body of Christ, their parents aren't. And so they're discouraging them.
Yeah.
Why do you go to church all the
Yeah.
time? Why do you got to do that? Why aren't you out partying? Why aren't you out clubbing? All that sort of stuff. So it's necessary. And I want to encourage those that are online to really do that. Before I give some closing words and some comments,
Yeah.
can you
Yeah.
wrap it up in terms
You see,
of...
for a word of encouragement, actually to you and to everyone watching, one thing about me, or one thing I've learned as a result of what God has taught me and is still teaching me, is that don't take for granted the people that started with you or those who've labored among you. I made this commitment to you. I've said it many times, but I'm making it so that the whole world will know. I feel that if you've invested your life serving the Lord with me to this point, there are some big things happening and there's some big things coming. I want you to be part of it. So stay and let us share in the joy, because we labored together. Now, there are certain times that you may not even feel that, hey, do they even count me? Am I even considered? You are considered. Why? Because I will not forget those that God has contributed, used. So my point to you is this. Beatrice Redmond, Dr. Redmond, Pastor Redmond, we have come this far by faith. I will not abandon you, nor the people who have worked with me in ministry for many, many years. I mean, there are some of you I've spoken to, and those closest to me knows that, my family knows that, the people who have labored with me, if they are standing with me to this point, I should take them too serious, and very serious, and any blessing that comes, they share in with me. So I am saying to you and to everyone listening, there are times people get discouraged. My problem is people that I want to bless at times run away before the blessings come. And the problem between that is between their nose and their chin, which is their mouth. They use their mouth to dig their own grave. When in actual fact, if they would really, really realize that we are here by common efforts, it's not one person. We all contribute to it. Why do you have to walk away from the very thing that is part of your inheritance? As you serve with me, if I eat, you eat. That's my goal. If you're hungry, you let me know. As the Lord speaks to me to bless you, I will be blessing you, because this is what family is all about. We are in this together. So my word to you, to everyone else, is this. God brings people into your life. Some are destiny partners. Destiny partners. A partner is not necessarily husband and wife only. A partner. Some of you are in business. You are in partnerships. What do you do with God? You are in partnership with God. Those who serve the devil, they are in partnership with the devil. If you are in ministry and somebody supports you, you are partners. God brings destiny partners to us. People who will partner with you. And they will make you succeed at all levels. And God brings destiny helpers. A destiny helper will come into your life very briefly, and their job is to open doors for you and to help you when you need it the most. Destiny partners, destiny helpers. And there are more I want to share in the destiny part. I'll keep them, so keep watching. I'll share them with time.
Wow, you said a mouthful. With working with 100 men, or just that alone, that kind of teaching, I think would change families and households. You talked about destiny helpers, and thinking right now for those of you that are viewing online and you've been viewing for some time, and you have been blessed by this ministry, what often happens is you forget where you get the blessing from. You tune in, you sign on, you hear a word, you take the word, you're ill, you're sick, you have a pain here, there, you went to the doctor, healed the diabetes or whatever. But sometimes we forget where that blessing came from.
Yeah.
The person that spoke into your life on Do Life. Hallelujah. I'm speaking right now about Do Life. And as destiny helpers, it shouldn't be difficult for you to say, my God, I am so grateful to Life International. I'm so grateful to Do Life. I want to give.
Yes.
You should have joy in your giving. And, you know, frequently when we give, we like to give because people are there and we're going in a line. But at home, it's like sometimes like, well, nobody knows that I didn't give today or whatever. But it's not about for man to see, because when the woman gave her mites, her few mites, he was watching.
Yeah.
And she gave more than any of the Pharisees did, you know? So the point is, he is watching. The Lord is watching. And when someone has blessed you, or as this ministry has blessed you, it's only reasonable that you should give. And so on today, you know, I always talk about where your heart is, so is your treasure. You know, that treasure is investing in heaven. Why? Because we love the Lord. I give because I love him. I honor him. I cherish him. I reverence him. So I encourage you on tonight, if this ministry has blessed you, it has brought you peace, comfort, help with your finances, your children, your marriage. Maybe you've been lonely. Maybe you've been discouraged. We've heard people testify to those things. Please, on tonight, consider Do Life. Please consider following the directions on your screen and to give, as the Lord prompts you, as he puts it into your heart. Well, thank you, King Adamtey. Thank you for all the wisdom that you shared today. It was a mouthful, and I'm going to work on those 100 women. I'm not sure when it'll be, but I'm going to work on it because you're going to do the 100 men first.
Actually, we are going to start the announcements very soon. The sooner they respond, the sooner they respond, the sooner I get involved. So the men and the women, I could do them simultaneously.
All right. I'm going to work on that.
Work on that.
Because I've heard a couple of women say, well, what about me?
Yeah.
So,
I want them to come. But you see, if you can get them to come, I'm ready to pour myself and pour what is in me to them.
Wow. Thank you for joining us tonight on Do Life. God bless you. Take care. Remember to like, share, call your friends. God bless you.
Thank you for watching another Do Life session powered by King Adamtey. We hope that you've been blessed by this message and stay encouraged. Miracles still happen, and God hasn't forgotten you. Be expectant of the miracles God is about to perform in your life if you just believe. Join us in person or online Sundays at 10 a.m. We're located at 5310 South Austin Avenue, Durham, North Carolina, 27713. You can also join us online via live stream by visiting lifeinternational.us/DOLifeTV. We encourage you to give. Your giving allows us to bring you inspirational messages like this every week. Please visit our website, lifeinternational.us/give, to give securely online. You can also text to give by texting your donation amount to 84321, or you can scan this QR code on your mobile device. Thank you for your support. We'll see you next week. Bye.